PSN is having a great holiday sale right now, and in this video we're gonna be going over 10 awesome PSN deals available for the PSN holiday sale. Let's get right into this. Batman Return to Arkham for $10. The Batman Arkham series was one of the best new IPs of last generation. Superhero games for a long time were kind of known for not being the best games. Some of them were okay, but none of them were really excellent, and then the Batman Arkham games arrived, and those games were excellent. With Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, they did the Batman license justice. They had great gameplay, a sizable amount of content, and a lot of fan service as well. And whether you're a fan of Batman or not, and by the way, how can you not be a fan of Batman? But it's really irrelevant. These are just well-made adventure games, and for $10 to get both of those games, that's a steal, especially if you've never played the games.
I feel I should thank you. Capturing Bruce Wayne is so much easier than Batman.
Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition for $10. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's gameplay is actually very similar to the Batman gameplay. It's very satisfying and it's pretty fast-paced. And Shadow of Mordor was considered to be one of the first truly great games of this generation, and for good reason. Visually it was great, the story was pretty good, and the open world, while it wasn't massive, did offer a decent amount of content as well. Middle-earth Shadow of War recently released, and that built upon Shadow of Mordor's success. Unfortunately, that game is a little bit more expensive, so if you want the cheaper option and if you've yet to play either game, Shadow of Mordor is a great starting point, and at just $10, it's a great deal.
Bet you thought I'd die. Guess what? I didn't! I'm gonna make you die now!
Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection for $20. Assassin's Creed has been one of the most iconic video game franchises for the last 10 years, and it really started to build in quality with Assassin's Creed 2 and the following sequels. Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection includes Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, as well as Assassin's Creed Revelations, the entire Ezio trilogy in one package. All three of the games are very good, and many would consider Assassin's Creed 2 to be the best Assassin's Creed game in the entire series. Brotherhood and Revelations are a lot more of the same from Assassin's Creed 2, so you'll find that those games are very good as well. For $20 for the entire collection is pretty good, and if you've never played the Ezio trilogy, now is the time to do so.
You are the leader now. Unite the assassins.
Insieme per la vittoria! Vittoria!
And take back Roma.
If I want, I take! Kill the assassin!
I intend to write a book about you one day.
You do, Machiavelli. Make it short.
Welcome to Constant...
WipEout the Omega Collection for $16. WipEout the Omega Collection is a remaster of the previous two titles in the WipEout series, WipEout HD with its WipEout HD Fury expansion, and WipEout 2048, which was a PlayStation Vita title. WipEout HD itself contained content from WipEout Pure and WipEout Pulse, so yeah, you're getting a lot of WipEout content in the WipEout Omega Collection, and if you don't know what WipEout is, it has you control anti-gravity ships in an arcade racing game. It's a lot of fun, and every ship has different characteristics. Statistics varying in handling, thrust, top speed, and shield strength. For just $16, WipEout the Omega Collection is an awesome arcade racer that you should definitely check out. BlazBlue Central Fiction for $18. BlazBlue has been one of the more notable fighting games in recent years. It's by Arc System Works, the guys that also did Guilty Gear, and BlazBlue stylistically is very similar to that. It's got that anime presentation, and it's a slick fighter with great music and a great visual style. And by the way, if you do want to go into the single player mode, know that it's absolutely insane. The story in BlazBlue has gotten a bit crazy, but if you're used to your Japanese style experiences, that shouldn't be too crazy for you. Central Fiction brings the total roster to 35 characters, and that includes all 28 from Chrono Phantasma Extent. For $18, this is a pretty solid pickup.
作り上げた英雄など無価値だ。
反逆だなんて。私はただ死神を追いかけて。ラグナにはまだ果たしてもらわなければならない役目があるの。話してもらいますよ。あなたがどこまで青について知っているのか。
これは面白い。
The Banner Saga for $5. The Banner Saga is a fantasy tactical RPG developed by Stoic, a trio of indie game developers formerly of BioWare. It's the first installment of the Banner Saga trilogy, and it was followed by the Banner Saga 2, and the Banner Saga 3 is planned to be released in 2018. It takes place in a fictional world inspired by Viking mythology, and it is an awesome game with an awesome art style, great music, and great storytelling. The Banner Saga has been one of the exceptional RPG experiences in recent years that's gotten really under the radar. If you haven't checked it out, for $5, it's a great pickup, and after you play this, you're definitely going to want to play the Banner Saga 2, and that's a great game as well.
Why are we alive when even the gods are dead? I awoke, and I knew why we're still alive.
Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain for $13. Metal Gear Solid 5 was arguably the most controversial game of this generation so far, and that controversy has been well publicized with everything that happened between Kojima and Konami, so we won't delve into that. What we will delve into is the fact that Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain is an exceptionally well-made game. This may have been the pinnacle of the Metal Gear Solid franchise from a gameplay standpoint. The gameplay is top-notch, and now it's set in an open-world environment, and a lot of games this generation transitioned to open-world design, and with Metal Gear Solid 5, it made that transition so smoothly. That open world design only complemented the gameplay and made the overall game better. Now, where many say Metal Gear Solid 5 falters is the storytelling, and yes, MGS 5 doesn't have the long cutscenes that were present in the previous MGS games, but the story is still fairly good. It's just presented in a different way through the use of audio cassette tapes, but there is a quality story here, just not something as big budget as, say, MGS 4. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain for just $13 is an excellent pickup, and if you've yet to play it, now is the time to grab it. This War of Mine: The Little Ones for $7. This War of Mine is one of the more interesting games that's been released in recent years. It's a post-apocalyptic survival war game, but you don't play as the soldiers, rather you play as the civilians, and it's a very interesting take on a war game, and it sheds light to the reality that many experience during a war. Instead of being these high-trained soldiers, you're just a typical civilian that needs to survive night after night. Presentation-wise, the game is amazing, and while technically it won't blow you away, the design is absolutely on point, and now for just $7, this War of Mine is definitely worth a pickup. Assassin's Creed Syndicate for $20. Now, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is probably the most forgotten Assassin's Creed titles, and that's for a couple of reasons. Assassin's Creed Syndicate was released in 2015, and that was coming off the release of Assassin's Creed Unity, which is widely considered to be the worst Assassin's Creed game in the franchise. That game was just a technical mess and did real damage to Assassin's Creed as a franchise, and Syndicate suffered the consequences. That's a shame because Assassin's Creed Syndicate is actually a great game. It's got a great story where you play as a brother and a sister, and those two characters are very well developed and act as a yin and a yang that complement each other really well. Gameplay is your standard Assassin's Creed fare, but if you enjoyed AC as a franchise, you should definitely check out Assassin's Creed Syndicate because I know a lot of you guys missed out on it. $20 is still a little bit steep. Would have liked to see this game for $15 or less, but it's still definitely worth that price.
Where's he going?
And finally, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 for $15. Naruto is one of the most iconic anime and manga of all time. Now that it's wrapped up, yes, we do have that Boruto anime, but we won't go into that. The main story has ended, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 definitely does justice to the Naruto license. Anime, much like superhero games, aren't always known for being the best games, but Naruto Storm has been a very consistent franchise. It's a fighting game series that's definitely a bit more casual. It doesn't have you making in-depth combos or anything like that, but it does have a little bit of depth into its gameplay, and if you do want to get better at it, there are some nuances that you have to master, and the single player in Storm 4 is absolutely jaw-dropping, featuring some exhilarating boss fights that are more over-the-top versions of the fights that you see in the anime. What happens in Storm 4 isn't identical to what happens in the anime, it's just even more over-the-top and even more breathtaking. If you're a fan of Naruto, you should definitely check out Naruto Storm 4, and for just $15, it's worth a pickup.
Coming down on you! Come on!
Did you think mere trees could stop me? Wait, is that Susanoo?
So that wraps up 10 awesome PS4 game deals available during the PSN holiday sale. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below if you pick any of these up. Sound off down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.